What's good, Deluxe Crew? Welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you could tell. Nah, I know damn well you could tell. Your boy's allergies is kicking in. Alright? I'm gonna give it like a day or two more before I get some Zyrtec because I've been in the crib. I literally went out yesterday to go see my mom for Mother's Day. I actually did make a pretty nice video for her. I didn't make it for her, but I got her a pretty nice gift that you guys should go check out on my main channel. But yeah, so my allergies kicking in, but I'm like, I'm still gonna be making these videos for the crew, man, cause it's like I'm the leader of the crew. You know what I'm saying? And we're all just like one big family. I gotta get this content out for you guys, cause y'all already know I don't post daily. Your boy posts hourly, man. So without further ado, we can get into this video. So this video right here is 10. What is it? It's 10 freaky Simpsons predictions that are actually easy to explain. So I guess we're gonna see predictions from the Simpsons, and then it's gonna be explained, man. The creator of the Simpsons is probably like, I don't know what the hell he is. It's like he's either a fortune teller, a time traveler, or a prophet, or he just takes some crazy drugs that makes him like really creative and ahead of his time. Who knows? There's a whole list of options, but let's get straight into it.
Since its premiere in 1989, The Simpsons has stood the test of time as one of the greatest television shows in the history of ever! Can you dig it? Not only has the heartfelt satirical series offered plenty of laughs throughout the years, they've given us a lot to think about. For instance, the show has developed a knack for predicting future events. How
That's
do the
crazy,
show's
man.
writers
I don't know how
know
they
all
do
this
it.
stuff? Are they psychic? Are they time travelers?
Let me know!
If you take a closer look at these so-called predictions, you'll discover they're more based on reality than you realized. Keep watching to find out how we predict. You just might learn something. See what we
Let's
did there?
hear it, man.
Let's just
Let's
do
hear it.
this
I need to hear
Get
it.
back to killing you with beer. It's a deal.
And while you're at it, make sure to subscribe to the Screen Rant channel so you can stay up to date with all the great
Yo, subscribe
content
to the channel
we're
right now,
dishing
man,
out
if you're watching
daily.
to this point.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke.
That's what?
President Trump. In late 2016, the world was shocked by the news that Donald Trump would be the next president of the United States. Best known for his business strategies and a stint as the main host on NBC's The Apprentice.
Not only did they predict Donald Trump being president, but look what's happening right now with the economy with him being president. The damn country going broke, man. The damn country going broke, and he's president. This shit ain't a coincidence, man. I'm just saying it right now.
No one ever expected this reality TV star to make good on his promise and or threat
He was
to
a
run
reality
for president.
TV star.
No one, that is,
I didn't know
except
that.
for the Simpsons writers. In the season 11 episode Bart to the Future, we got a glimpse of a potential future where Lisa Simpson became the first female president. The prediction was made as a throwaway joke in which Lisa comments she's inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. But in a 2016 interview The Hollywood Reporter conducted with Simpsons writer Dan Graney, he suggests this wasn't so much a prediction as a warning. He went on to say the idea was pitched because it was consistent with the vision of America going insane. Longtime Simpsons
Bullshit. He's covering it up. He's a time traveler. I don't want to hear it.
showrunner Al Jean gives his own thoughts on the matter. People have somewhat forgotten, but he was talking about running for president then, so it wasn't somebody totally out of the blue. It was a guy who was a punchline name and had presidential aspirations.
Alright. I guess that makes sense. But how'd they know the economy was gonna crash? Simpsons, I need to know that. How'd y'all know the economy was gonna crash while he was in presidency? I call bullshit, man.
Oh, blast. Go to plan B.
Smartwatches. In the season 6 episode Lisa's Wedding, Lisa's run-in with a fortune teller at a Renaissance fair offers her a glimpse into the future, specifically the moment Lisa finds her true love, Hugh Parkfield. The episode features a scene in which Hugh proposes to Lisa, but when his plan goes haywire, he uses his wristwatch communicator to insist that his team go to plan B. It's a briefer than brief moment, but enough to suggest that way back in 1995,
Bro.
The Simpsons had predicted the invention of smartwatches.
In 1995, alright, I'm gonna let it play. I'm sorry, I'm pausing. I'm gonna let it play. 1995, they predicted smartwatches. Freaking cell phones weren't created then. I don't think they were. They had like bleepers or some shit, and they had to connect the wire to the smartwatch. I don't have a damn smartwatch.
When you stop and think about it, the idea of the smartwatch has been seen as far back as Dick Tracy in the 1940s. It was such a cool concept, it inspired countless watch companies to delve into the possibilities of what such a device could achieve. In the 1990s, wristwatch technology was striving towards all kinds of futuristic aspirations, such as the Seiko wrist computer message watch. It only makes sense that the Simpsons would latch onto the idea of a watch that could offer the ability for two-way communication. While the smartwatch wouldn't reach its fullest potential until Apple released their innovative Apple Watch in 2015, there's no doubt the seed had been planted for such an invention long before The Simpsons had suggested it would happen.
I need you to let me know. Do y'all think The Simpsons was onto something? Like,
square rootiful.
Lady Gaga's halftime show. Lady Gaga is one of the most popular musical artists of the 21st century. In 2011, she released her second studio album, Born This Way, which debuted on the top 5 spots of nearly every major music chart. It was only a matter of time before she paid a visit to Springfield, and in the series' 23rd season, she finally got her chance. In the episode entitled Lisa Goes Gaga, Lady Gaga stumbles into the city of Springfield on her way to a concert. After noticing how depressed its inhabitants are, she takes it upon herself to cheer up the city of Springfield with a bombastic performance, donning an absurd, spark-shooting silver suit and flying high above the crowd. It's a hilarious visual, one that becomes even more amazing when you realize Lady Gaga did something very similar in a near-identical outfit when she performed at the 2017 Super Bowl halftime show, rappelling down to the stage on a rope. It's par for the course for a performer known for her zany and visually stunning antics, so it would only make sense for The Simpsons to come up with a similar idea a few years prior. Though, to be fair, Lady Gaga might have been directly inspired by the episode when planning her Super Bowl show.
Well, I'm glad some people could resist the lures of the big game.
Oh my god, I forgot the game!
The Super Bowl. Since we're already on the topic of Super Bowls, you might find it interesting that for a brief stretch of time, The Simpsons was notorious for predicting the winners of the game.
How you predict
the
the
episode
winners,
in
bro?
question, entitled Lisa the Greek, aired from the period of 1992 to 1994. In it, Homer discovers Lisa's incredible ability to predict which football team will win a game. Naturally, he takes full advantage, exploiting her talents to win some extra money. When the football season ends, Homer tells her their bonding time has come to an end. Lisa is heartbroken, but she makes one final prediction. If she still loves her dad, the Redskins will win the Super Bowl. If she doesn't, the Bills will win.
What you got riding on this game?
My daughter.
What a gamble.
Yeah, I feel like I've never even watched a full episode of The Simpsons, to be completely honest. I need to start watching this episode. That nigga seemed funny.
In the episode, the Redskins win, and Homer still has the love of his daughter. A few days later, the Redskins actually did win the Super Bowl. The episode was reworked the following 2 years to feature whichever teams were in the Super Bowl that year. Both times, Lisa made predictions, and both times she ended up being right. Al Jean, the Simpsons showrunner at the time, insists the predictions were just dumb luck every time. We think he just doesn't want to betray his writerly aura by admitting he's secretly a huge football fan. Oh, we're on to you, Mr. Jean.
They were on luck? Nigga, so you just got lucky? Multiple times. To predict the Super Bowl. Bullshit.
Siegfried and Roy. Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Horn were world-famous Vegas magicians whose performances centered around the use of white tigers and white lions.
Yeah, that shit done
Siegfried
fucked you up that time, huh?
actually appeared on The Simpsons, but in the show's 5th season, the writers featured a parody duo inspired by them, Gunther and Ernst. In the episode, Gunther and Ernst are mauled by their white tiger Anastasia as revenge for keeping her in captivity. This moment was mirrored in real life a decade later when Roy was attacked by one of his tigers during a live performance. He survived the injuries, but their show was closed, not...
Bro, that's so messed up. His tiger done fucked him up. Damn.
For keeping
Nah, it's
her
not
in
funny, bro. It's
captivity.
not funny.
This moment was mirrored in real life a decade later when Roy was attacked by one of his tigers during a live performance. He survived the injuries, but their show was closed not long after.
Damn,
now,
bro.
let's face it, people. If you work with tigers on a regular basis, your chances of being injured are bound to go up tremendously. It's just the reality of the
That's
situation.
a huge cat.
It doesn't matter if you're a zookeeper or a talented magician, you're fiddling
That's what
around
he
with the
said.
natural order of things, and sooner or later, that tiger's gonna start looking to you as a snack instead of a pal. All the Simpsons writers had to
Oh,
do
you're
was
bugging.
pay attention to the absurdity of the real life situation, as they often did, and call it as they saw it. While the
No,
circumstances
bro,
surrounding Roy's accident are indeed unfortunate, at the end of the day, they're not much of a surprise.
Oh, I'd love
That
to
is
see
surprising.
that.
Are you kidding me?
We could all go with the
You telling me
bus
if you're at a circus and see a fucking I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop cursing. You telling me if you're at a circus and witness a tiger mauling a nigga, you're not gonna be surprised? You're gonna be like, oh, I expected that shit. Big whoopty. No, you're surprised. Like, come on now.
Special super sitter fare?
Like,
$9.
come on now.
This one's on me.
Come on now.
September 11th.
Come on now.
This might be the creepiest prediction on our list. This one showed up in the season 9 premiere, which aired
y'all really
in
think there's an
September
explanation for this
1997.
one?
In it, Homer's best friend Barney snatches Homer's car and leaves it in New York City. Homer and his family make the trek up to the Big Apple to get it back. When trying to decide the best and cheapest option to get up to New York, Lisa notices a magazine that advertises a $9 bus fare on the cover. Next to the large number 9 is a silhouette of the World Trade Center, which looks suspiciously like the number 11.
And the
when
two
the New
World
York
Trade
Times
Centers.
asked showrunner Al Jean if he could explain this one, he replied, "That one is a completely bizarre, strange thing."
Oh
In
my
2010,
gosh,
however,
the cappery, man. Yo, someone put a cap on his head. Someone needs to put a cap on his head. Come on now. Just, oh my gosh. The two Twin Towers, $9. Alright.
executive producer Bill Oakley said that while he would grant the magazine cover was eerie, the number 9 was chosen because it was a comically cheap fare. The Simpsons wasn't the only show on Fox making creepy 9/11 predictions either. The X-Files spin-off The Lone Gunman's pilot episode featured a storyline where a hijacked plane is aimed towards the World Trade Center.
Bro, what?
Oof. You know what? Let's just move on to the next topic. This is too much.
I'm jacking. They gave these niggas the idea to actually run into the shit. Like Osama bin Laden. Whoever made that skit or whatever, gave them the idea.
Hello, campers! How you doing?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! It's Mick Jagger and Keith Richards! Ah!
The Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones didn't make their first official guest appearance on The Simpsons until season 14 in the episode How I Spent My Strummer. But that didn't stop the show from making references to the band in earlier episodes. Once again, the 1995 episode Lisa's Wedding seems to have a knack for calling future events, similar to the Smartwatch gag. This joke was a quick throwaway. As Lisa and her fiancé lay in bed, chatting the day away, you'll notice a poster up on the wall behind them. It reads, "The Rolling Stones Steel Wheelchair Tour 2010. What? How did they know the Rolling Stones would still be up and running in 2010? Sans wheelchairs. This prediction is easier to explain than most. The Rolling Stones have been active as a band since
Bullshit.
they formed in the 1960s. They revolutionized rock and roll, and they've been consistently
Bro, I'm just
churning
running
out
through tissues,
incredible
man. It's
material
bad.
ever since. It's in their blood. In the mid-90s, they were in the midst of touring their Voodoo Lounge album, and both Mick Jagger and Keith Richards were in their early 50s at the time. If they hadn't already called it quits by that point, there was no reason to believe they wouldn't still be touring together for the next decade or so.
Hey, Dolph, take a memo on your Newton.
That's crazy,
Beat up
man.
Martin.
Autocorrect.
Bah!
Autocorrect. One of the many classic punchlines in Simpsons lore wasn't actually spoken out loud by any of the show's characters. In the season 6 episode Lisa on Ice, Kearney, one of the show's bullies, turns to his buddy Dolph during an assembly and asks him to make a note on his Apple Newton. The Newton was one of the earliest models of personal digital assistants, also known as PDAs. And no, we're not talking about that kind of PDA.
Hey, public display. Yeah, what's with the love thing?
Yeah, I need to
Released
watch
in the
this show,
early 90s,
honestly,
the
bro.
device was notorious
Yo, why
for
my
its
eyes
buggy
squinting?
handwriting recognition
My eyes aren't
feature.
itchy,
When
they're just
Kearney
they're just
asked Dolph
squinting. I
to
don't
write
know
down
why.
the
though.
note, "Beat up Martin." The device
They're
incorrectly
like dry.
translates it to "eat up Martha." Later on in Apple's history, when they were developing the iPhone's autocorrect feature, this fateful moment was a big inspiration for them later on. According to former senior vice president of iOS software, Scott Forstall, Apple staff was constantly quoting the moment to one another as a way of ensuring they got it absolutely right. According to Forstall, in the hallways at Apple, and while we were talking about the keyboard, you would always hear the words, "Eat up, Martha." So in this case, it wasn't a prediction as much as it was the Simpsons calling Apple out for their shoddy work and inspiring them to do better.
Old lady from Titanic, you stink!
Disney acquires Fox.
That's
This
a
prediction
fact,
was made
bro.
on an
Come on
episode
now.
entitled "When You Dish Upon a
Bro,
Star."
Disney
which aired-
acquiring Fox, bro. Like, it could have been any TV station, like anything, any management company. Disney and Fox, though.
Back in 1998, you might recall this fan favorite. In it, Homer Simpson becomes best friends with Alec Baldwin, Kim Basinger, and Ron Howard. At the end of the episode, Ron Howard makes a pitch about a killer robot driving instructor that travels back in time for some reason. When the studio head seems like he's going to take a hard pass, Ron throws in Homer's idea about a talking pie to sweeten the deal. He ends up with bags of money. But hold on, let's rewind a little bit. Did you notice that sign on the studio lot? The one that says 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Co.?
That's
While the
crazy,
news
bro.
that Disney was indeed buying a portion of 21st Century Fox wouldn't be announced for another 20 years, it seems a bit crazy that they called it, right? How else could they have known this way back when, unless they had crazy future predicting powers? Well, hold
tell
your
me.
horses, people. Turns out there's a logical explanation for this one, too. Past Simpsons showrunner Al
Let's hear this
Jean
shit.
says this is another great example of the kind of forward thinking their writer's room was notorious for. It happens. There's always mergers. It seemed logical, you know? The God Particle. Simon Singh, the author of The Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets, called the series the most mathematical show on primetime television in history. And for good reason. In the 1998 episode The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, Homer very nearly predicted the mass of the elementary particle, the Higgs boson, also known as the God Particle, more than a decade before the true answer was discovered. As he is working out a problem on chalkboard, you'll notice
Damn,
a
he writes
complex
neat as hell.
equation. According to
I
Singh,
need
that
that type of
equation
handwriting.
predicts the mass of a Higgs boson. And if you work it out, you get the mass of a Higgs boson that's only a bit larger than the nanomass of a Higgs boson actually is. Now
Wait,
we're sure
what?
there's a perfectly logical explanation for how Homer discovered this, right?
Bullshit.
So the explanation for this one is, well, it's okay, fine, we admit it. Maybe The Simpsons is an amazing future predicting
Thank you.
show, and all its writing staff have magic powers and can time travel and all that
Thank
nonsense.
you.
We don't know how they do it, and we can't explain it. But let's just accept it and acknowledge that this show is absolutely brilliant in every way. Can we just do that, please?
Bro, it's a fact,
And
man.
there you have
It's
it.
a fact,
there
man.
any other-
I never watched the show. Like I said, I never watched the episode. But it seems like the writers are really onto something, and they're covering it up. Bro, he said it was a coincidence 3 times, bro. 3 times, and like the events be mad specific. How do you like Disney and Fox, the freaking team winning the Super Bowl, Lady Gaga coming on from the wires, bro. I need your opinion down below in the comment section, honestly, man. To be completely honest, I want to know what you guys are thinking about this. But if you are new and you did make it to this point of the video, make sure you do become part of the Deluxe crew, like and subscribe, man. I'm going to catch you in the next one the same way you're going to catch me in the next one. Peace.